I never thought I'd have a gun pointed at my chest for walking my own dog in my own neighborhood. But that's exactly what happened. Broad daylight, 10 in the morning, sprinklers hissing and birds chirping like it was just another peaceful Tuesday. One second I was thinking about what Sarah wanted for dinner, the next I'm staring at a red laser dot shaking on my shirt while a young cop yells at me to get on my knees. Yeah, that happened. And if you think that kind of thing only plays out on the news somewhere far away, let me tell you, it hits different when it's your street, your house 3 blocks down, your dog trembling beside you. My name's Elias Thorne. I'm 62 years old, retired Command Sergeant Major, 22 years in the United States Army. I've walked patrol in places most people only hear about on cable news. I've been shot at, blown up, buried friends, rebuilt my shoulder after an IED tore it apart, and I thought I'd seen about every kind of chaos a man could see. Turns out I was wrong. Turns out sometimes the fight comes to your front yard and it's wearing a badge. That morning started simple. I had on a light blue polo tan shorts, white sneakers, nothing dramatic. My Belgian Malinois gunner was at my left side like he always is. Disciplined, steady, service-trained. We take the same route every day through our subdivision in Brookfield Estates, quiet place. Mostly families, folks who know each other by first name. I help with block parties, clear snow in the winter, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Just trying to live peaceful. Then the patrol SUV swung around the corner too fast, cut across the curb at an angle, and blocked the sidewalk like I was some kind of fleeing suspect. Officer Kyle Braden stepped out, sunglasses on his shaved head, jaw tight, already angry about something that hadn't even happened yet. "Tie the dog to the signpost," he barked. "Now you're being detained." I remember blinking, not because I was scared, but because I was trying to figure out if this was real. "I'm standing still," I told him, calm as I could manage. "That's a service animal. What crime am I suspected of?" He stepped closer, hand hovering near his holster. "I decide that. Give me your ID or this gets worse." And right there, before anything else, I knew what this was about. It wasn't about a crime, it was about control. He said there was a burglary suspect in the area, black male, dark clothing casing houses. I looked down at my pastel shirt and then back at him. "Officer, I'm wearing light blue and tan." He didn't care. "Don't get smart with me. I'm not," I said. "I'm asking you to articulate reasonable suspicion." That word irritated him, reasonable. He didn't like being corrected. He didn't like that I wasn't flustered. Gunner let out a low growl when Braden stepped into my space, and that's when Braden reached for his taser, pulled it out, and aimed it straight at my chest. "If that dog takes one step, I will put him down. On your knees now." The red dot danced on my shirt. For a split second, I felt the old surge of adrenaline, the kind that used to hit before a firefight, but I forced it down. "Gunner, stand down," I said, and that dog went silent instantly. I held my hands out, palms open. "I gave my knees to this country about 30 years ago," I told him. "I'm not getting on the ground. If you're going to arrest me, then arrest me. But do not hurt my dog." Neighbors started coming out. Mrs. Higgins from 2 houses down, phone in her hand, recording everything. Landscaper across the street shut off his mower. You could feel the neighborhood waking up to something ugly. Braden's voice got louder, the more eyes turned toward him. "You're resisting. You're obstructing my investigation." "What investigation?" I asked. "What specific crime?" He didn't answer that. Instead, he lunged, grabbed my left wrist, and twisted it hard behind my back. My shoulder lit up with pain, sharp and familiar, the same shoulder surgeons rebuilt after Kandahar. I didn't fight him. I let him cuff me. I've seen men lose everything in seconds because they let anger drive. This wasn't policing. This was ego. "You're under arrest," he said, snapping the cuffs tight. Mrs. Higgins yelled, "He lives here!" That's Elias. Braden snapped back at her, threatened to arrest her too if she interfered. Then he shoved me into the back of the cruiser like I was trash he needed to haul away. Sitting in the back of that car, hands cuffed behind me, shoulder throbbing, I stared out at my own neighborhood and felt something deeper than anger. Disappointment. I had spent 2 decades defending the Constitution, and here I was being told I was suspicious for existing on my own street. On the drive to the station, Braden talked nonstop. "You people always make it about civil rights. Bet you got a warrant. Probably didn't want to show ID because you're hiding something." I didn't respond. Silence can be powerful. In the military, we learned that sometimes the best move is to observe, catalog, remember. I noticed him texting on his personal phone while driving. I noticed he sped through a school zone. I noticed every word he said. Every detail matters later. When we got to the precinct, he marched me inside like he was proud. "Refused to ID possible burglary. Suspect, he announced. The desk sergeant Miller, older guy with gray hair and a Marine Corps tattoo peeking from under his sleeve, looked up slowly. He looked at me. Really looked at me, not just at my skin. "Bring him here," he said. Braden dumped my wallet on the counter. Miller opened it and pulled out my retired military ID. He froze for a second. Rank Command Sergeant Major E9. Behind it, my challenge coin from Special Forces laminated card listing awards. Silver Star, Bronze Star with Valor, Purple Heart twice. The room went quiet. "Take the cuffs off," Miller said, voice low but deadly serious. Braden hesitated. "Sarge, Now!" The cuffs came off. Blood rushed back into my wrists. Miller looked at me with something like shame in his eyes. "Sergeant Major, I'm sorry." I nodded once. "Officer Braden threatened to shoot my service dog," I said evenly. "He arrested me without articulable reasonable suspicion, twisted a surgically repaired shoulder, and spent 20 minutes lecturing me about how my people need to learn respect." You could hear a pin drop. Braden stared at the floor. Lieutenant Alley came rushing in, trying to smooth it over. "Terrible misunderstanding," he said, offering his hand. I didn't shake it. "It wasn't a misunderstanding," I replied. "It was a civil rights violation." "Am I free to go?" He said yes. "Good," I told him. "Then secure the body cam footage immediately so it can't be lost. Document my medical complaint and notify the watch commander. I will be filing under Title 42, Section 1983. His face changed when I said that. He knew I wasn't bluffing. 2 days later, Mrs. Higgins posted her video online. Title said something like, "Veteran arrested for walking while black." It blew up. Millions of views. Veterans groups shared it. Civil rights activists shared it. Dog lovers shared it because of the threat to Gunner. Then someone inside the department leaked Braden's body cam footage. That was worse. It showed him muttering before he even got out of the car. Another one of these guys. It showed the taser pointed at my chest. It showed him texting while driving. Reporters dug into his record and found a pattern. Disproportionate stops of black men in a mostly white precinct. The burglary suspect he claimed to be looking for was described as a teenager in a black hoodie. I'm 62 in a pastel polo. The lie was out in the open. Internal Affairs launched an investigation. 6 weeks later, Braden was fired for excessive force racial profiling conduct unbecoming. The city offered a settlement first, $100,000, then $250,000, then $500,000 to avoid a trial. I accepted the $500,000 with conditions, a public written apology entered into record, and mandatory quarterly de-escalation training taught by outside experts. They agreed. After legal fees and taxes, I used most of what was left to start the Thorn Legal Defense Fund, helping veterans and service members who face police misconduct. I didn't want to be a symbol. I just wanted to walk my dog. But sometimes you don't choose the fight chooses you. 1 year later, I walked the same route. Same sidewalk, same sprinklers, same quiet houses. I'll be honest, when a cruiser turned the corner, my chest tightened. Trauma doesn't disappear because paperwork says resolved. The window rolled down. Young officer, maybe mid-20s. "Good morning, Sergeant Major," she said respectfully, gave a small wave, then drove on. I stood there for a second, hand on Gunner's leash, breathing out slow. Peace felt fragile, but it was there. So here's what I keep thinking about, and I want you to think about it too. Was justice served because that officer was fired and the city paid up? Or did the system only move because I had rank awards and a lawyer on speed dial? What happens when the person in that back seat doesn't have those things, doesn't know? The law doesn't have neighbors filming. Would it have ended differently if I had raised my voice, if I had panicked when that taser came out? Would I be here telling this story? You know what I mean? It's easy to say just comply until you're staring at a red laser dot for no reason. I'm not telling you this for sympathy. I'm telling you because dignity matters, accountability matters, and silence helps no one. I fought back with the law because that's the oath I swore to defend. But the war against bias, against abuse of power, that's bigger than one officer. So I want to hear from you. Was the settlement enough? Was firing him enough? Have you seen something like this in your own community? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Agree or disagree. Challenge me if you want. Just keep it real. And if you believe authority should answer for its actions, share this story, subscribe. Keep the conversation going. Because walking your dog in America should never require courage, and yet sometimes it does.